How's it going, Preston Outdoors fans? I want to start this off as apologizing for Monday, which would be yesterday, not getting a vlog or video out for you guys. I know I said Mondays would be days I'll having them out, and for whoever you guys are out there that are looking forward to them, I apologize. Not making any excuses. It was just something. Yesterday wasn't eventful, and so I didn't film anything. So I'm making up for you today. Today is going and has already been a busy day. Getting the intro done here. You're gonna see some clips of some duck hunting today, and then we're gonna go out and go through the tackle and stuff in my boat, and give you a little rundown of the last two tournaments I fished last weekend, and what I was using and what we were targeting and what worked and what didn't really work out. So hope you stay tuned and hope you enjoy this video. Morning, guys. It is, it's already 6:25. Got kind of a late start to the morning. Didn't know if I wanted to go hunting or not until I rolled over at about 5:30. It's like, it's windy, it's rainy. This should be a good day. No guarantees though, because couldn't find my wallet, one. Couldn't find the vest for the dog. Forgot my duck calls at a buddy's house. So we're gonna really see how this is gonna go. So yeah, we're gonna run over here to a little slough. Shooting hour starts in 25 minutes. No, half an hour. Yeah, half an hour. So we probably won't be set up by then. We're gonna run over here, set up some decoys, get Abbie in position, and hopefully the flash of the mojo will have something at least come over and take a peek at us. There's a coyote. Wow, we're just seeing all kinds of things here this morning. So, probably pick back up somewhere right about here. Just got in the setup. Got 12 floater decoys out and one mojo. There's Abbie right there beside me. I don't know if you guys can see me right now, but it's legal shooting hours, but it's really dark out because of the cloud cover. And we'll see if anything comes in. Like, take it. Take it. Good girl, fetch him up. Good girl, hand. No, hand. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl. Good girl.
Right through the path. Oh, we're gonna right under the bridge. Come on. Good. Oh, dude, I love how he holds on. Drop. There you go.
Good boy.
That's it. I thought you shot two hens already.
Nope.
Boy.
One was a young girl. Dude, say hi to the folks at home.
Yeah, the folks at home.
Well, a little update here. Got done hunting with Abbie this morning. Maybe show you a couple clips of that, but out here with my buddy Dalton and AJ. I only got 4 this morning, so I'm able to shoot 2 more birds. I haven't shot any yet today. Dalton's got 5. AJ's got 3 or 4 or 3, so doing pretty good. We got AJ's dog Duke out here, so pretty good morning. It's already 1 o'clock. Birds are still flying around, so might get some more shooting in here. Who knows? And then a large order of onion rings. And then he wants 20-piece chicken nuggets as well.
Today.
Yep, that'll be it.
Alright, Econo's gonna be $9.71 at the window. Please step forward.
Thank you very much. Dude, it's for my vlog. Didn't put it out yesterday. I gotta put it together today. Two chicken Sammys, bro. Here, hang on to that card for a minute. Thank you. Take the straw. You're welcome.
Here's the pie for that one.
The pie. Yeah, that's your pie, Duke. Oh. Got a little water. Got the old vacuum. There's the office. What a beast. Alright, recap. Last weekend, fished a Saturday, Sunday tournament. It was for the Tournament of Champions, or TOC, in the Bass Club that I was fishing this summer. Like I said in other videos, this is the first summer I ever fished tournaments and stuff like that. And so it was a really good learning experience. To fish the TOC, the last 2-day tournament, you had to be in the top 5 in the Bass Club over the whole summer. The whole summer we fished 5 tournaments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top 5 teams that fished the 5 tournaments, they took all the weight, put them together. The top 5 teams got to fish this tournament. There's more money for entry fee, and it was a 2-day tournament, so the totals from Saturday and the totals from Sunday combined, there's your overall winner. So me and my partner, we got 4th in the club. First time being in it. We got 4th. I think we were 6-7 pounds behind from the leaders that won it, that got team of the year, that were number 1, and we were 30 pounds ahead of the team behind us that was in 5th place. So we had a pretty good season, good summer. We worked together great and everything like that. And so talking about this tournament, this one was a different story. First day was a smallmouth lake, and during practice and everything, I was focusing on rock piles. And rock piles next to sand, next to weeds, slight weed clumps and everything like that. That's what I focused on. Now, the water temperature was anywhere from 62, 63 down to 58 in the morning, somewhere in there. And we were betting on that it was going to be like in the spring when we fished this same lake, that it was going to be, most of that in the spring they were on the rock and in the sand, everything like that, pretty good. So I was figuring, okay, it's going to be the same thing in the fall. That's what I targeted. I drove around the lake multiple times and, scanning with the depth finder to find rock piles, and found some rock piles, and we fished and we fished and we fished. We fished for, tournament 8 hours, got 3 bites the whole day. So we weighed, and one of them was like a 6-inch smallie, that's it. And the 2 fish I weighed in had a cumulative weight of 2-point-something pounds. So they're like a pound apiece. So the pattern and the transition we thought they were going to be eating on, they weren't eating on. So that was a learning curve. After talking to some of the guys that did pretty decent, I think the top weight was 15 pounds, which isn't real great for that lake, but it was enough, to put them ahead by a great margin. They were fishing a summertime pattern for that lake for smallmouth. There's along weed edges, thick weed edges. Now smallmouth don't necessarily get in the weeds like what largemouth do. They kind of cruise along the edges. And so what they did, they would go work the weed edges real slow. And I'm not sure what they were using, but they would work it real slow and find the fish sitting on the edges of the weeds. And that's how they put some nice bags together. Decent bags anyway. Like I was saying, for us, in the pattern we were trying to fish with rocks and stuff like that, this is a technique I've really come to love, and it's a tube jig. And I never would have I've never used a tube jig besides this spring. Never thought anything of using a tube jig for smallmouth. I was more of a crankbait kind of guy for smallies and stuff like that. But then this is Gander Mountain tube jig. This one's really beat up and everything like that. This is orange, green, and black flake. I think it's a 3.5 inch tube jig. And what I ended up doing this time is getting a bigger size head. I think this is a 1/2 ounce head tube jig head on there. And if you haven't seen the videos of it, I know Mark Zona does a lot of videos and stuff of it, but it's popping a tube. I didn't drag this thing at all. I'd throw it out there, let it hit the bottom, and if there was bigger rocks, I would crawl it through, so this thing would kind of, you know, just bump, flicker the skirt up there, bump, bump. But what I ended up doing a lot, and got a lot of reaction bite, you know, during practice and stuff, was actually popping the tube. So your tube hits the water, it goes down, it kind of sits, you know, nestles in there. It kind of looks like a defensive position for them crayfish. And then what you do when you take your rod tip and you kind of pop it, this tube actually kind of comes up and does like a half moon one way and comes back down. You pop it again, now it faces this way and it'll kind of do a half moon and come back down. So there's a lot of reaction to it. Then I'd crawl it, then I'd pop it. And a lot of them, either when it came up, they were looking at it, they came in zoned on it, and as soon as I pop it, I go to pop, and then I'd feel a tunk, a bite, and then I lift up, okay, he has it in his mouth, I'd let him eat it for a little bit, and then set the hook. Or I'd pop it, and it would fall back down, and then I'd feel a bite. Unless I was on bigger rocks, this thing wouldn't make a thud when it hit the bottom. It would just then slacken my line. So if I popped it, and I got a thump before it hit the bottom of the slack stop, I'd lift up on the rod tip, oh yeah, that's a fish, let him eat it, set the hook. Now the rod I had this paired on, probably a heavier style rod than some people use. Some people use medium lights with a fast action tip. This is actually a Gander Mountain Advantage series, excuse me, the IM6 graphite rod. It's I think it's 7 foot. Yep, 7 foot medium heavy rod. A lot of times I bought this rod this summer for skipping Cincos underneath docks for largemouth, but it's really sensitive and it's only $40 rod. Not all my rods are really expensive because there's no point. When I went to buy a rod for skipping Cincos, I'm going to be using it part of the time, so I'm not going to be using it consistently all the time, so why spend big money on it? That's my opinion, but it's really sensitive. On here, like all my other spinning reels, I got a Boo Garcia, or not a Boo Garcia, what am I thinking? Not a Boo Garcia, I was thinking of my bait casting reel, excuse me, Fluger President. This is the... I can't remember this. I think this is the 3000 series, so the bigger spool on here. And so this is my rod for skipping docks. I got 20-pound Fireline Crystal on there. Now I didn't elect to use a fluorocarbon leader on here just because the water was really dirty. You could use a fluorocarbon leader, but I figured it was a nasty, algae bloom. The sun had been out and the sun was going to be out. That I got away with using, this braided line. Didn't have a problem with it, anything like that. So this was my go-to setup the first day and the second day. Another rig that I really hadn't started out using before this year and really have gotten some confidence in it over using it for largemouth, smallmouth is your drop shot. The drop shot has really come onto the scene the last how many years for smallmouth and largemouth, but it was something that I knew if they were a little bit more finicky and just to keep it in their face. Now here's my drop. I don't know if that's 18 inches, a tag line. I'm using a 3/8 ounce kind of the cylinder weight, if you would, cylinder weight. Now a lot of people they're going to use your 1/8 ounce, your 16th ounce, really light weights. For me, finesse fishing really isn't my strong suit, and so I try and take a finesse fishing situation like a drop shot and personalize it to myself. So this is a 3/8 ounce weight. This is a heavy weight. I even use 1/2 ounce and 5 ounce weights just so I can cast it farther, and sensitivity is my thing. Like I was telling you, I'm not real good with the finesse techniques. So when I go to drop this, you cast it out. If you don't know how to work a drop shot, you cast it out and the weight sits on the bottom and the worm sits up here. Now with this worm, it's going to float like this, well, straight out like this in the water. Okay? And then you just wiggle this line. This line is going to stay solid on the bottom like this, and then you just wiggle the slack, and that's going to make that worm just dance all over the place. Wiggle it, stop, and it's really good because it holds the bait this far off the bottom. You hold your line tight. That bait isn't down here. That bait isn't up here. You hold it tight. That thing stays right there. So when a fish comes in, you wiggle it, stop it, wiggle it, stop it. It's not going anywhere. It's not like a jig or something that's falling down and picking up. It stays right there. Now, I am using, I think this is a number 4, like a hook you would use on a spinner rig for walleyes. When I started drop shotting, you know, this is what I would use, this little hook here. I'll show it to you. Hope you guys can see this stuff. It's not real good lighting in here. Look, right there. Now this is tied on with a uni knot. If you don't know how to tie a uni knot, go check out the technique videos on my channel or anywhere else, and there's how to tie a uni knot. That's what I use right here. Like I said, there's my weight. Now with this, I have tied on, this is probably a 6-foot fluorocarbon leader. This is 12-pound fluorocarbon. And what I have underneath that is 8-pound, there's 10-pound, excuse me, Power Pro braided line connected with the FG knot. Now if you don't know how to tie an FG knot, also check out that on my technique videos. It'll show you how to do it. Now again, like I said, I'm not real confident yet. I'm confident in the drop shot, but I'm not confident in real finesse techniques because I'm more slightly of a power fisherman. Not true power fisherman, crankbaits all the time kind of thing, but just slightly, I don't know, I'm kind of in between. But being real slow and anything like that isn't really my strong suit, so I'm getting better. Dragging and popping a tube, using a drop shot, but doing my own personal twist with a heavier weight really helps me feel fish and everything like that. So if I'm not going to be using it a lot, like I said, I'm not going to go buy a really expensive rod. This, again, is a Gander Mountain Angler Series walleye rod. This rod is also $40 at Gander Mountain. Pretty cheap. So then I have again, a Fluger President reel, spinning reel. This is the limited edition, so this one was $80 instead of $60. Otherwise, the President reels are $60, $40. You got $100 bucks, and you got a really nice combo and whatever kind of line you want to put on there. Now, this one is also the 3000 series reel, because with the drop shot, you throw it out there, and then when you get your bite, you have your drag set low because you're using this tiny hook. The key to this is you don't hammer on the hook. You kind of just throw it out there. When you get a bite, pull into the fish. Now when that fish goes to take off, I need a big reel to catch up with it, and that's why I went with that. And this one, the rod itself is a 7-1 medium fast. So it's a medium action rod with a fast action tip. So it's got a lot more bend on it right here, and that's really key for keeping those fish buttoned. Now my lure of choice, or not lure, but bait of choice when I'm using a drop shot, now this one's been chewed up. I'll grab you a new one. My bait of choice is a 4-inch Senko. It's cheap. It's a cheaper bait, and just like the Senkos you've seen me in other videos, they catch fish. Just this 4-inch Senko. This is watermelon with red flake. If you want to start drop shotting, just pick yourself up a package of hooks, some weights, and figure out, you know, what kind of line, everything you're going to use. But my bait, to give a try right away, a cheap way to kind of get into drop shotting is a 4-inch Senko for bass. And just try it. See how you like it. For me, I have to use it quite often and get bites on it to be confident in it. It isn't something I can, that technique isn't something I could just pick up this summer and just start fishing with and be like, yeah, I'm going to catch fish. But I know now if I'm around fish, the drop shot will catch them. That's how confident I've become. So those are the two baits I used on Saturday and Sunday. Now Sunday was a different story. We moved to a largemouth bass lake. This lake used to have really big fish in it with some fish, or there's like last couple of years there's some high water that had some bigger fish. People are thinking move to spawn in the creeks and stuff. The creek water dropped quick and the fish died. So there's a few big bass in there. I caught one during practice and I was hoping she'd be there on Sunday, but she wasn't. So when I went back there, I threw that crankbait in there and was hoping she'd be there, and she wasn't. So then I threw the tube jig. It's like, okay, she's going to want the tube jig. Throwing it in there, get the tube jig, gets popped, set the hook. Rod is bending, drag's peeling. I was like, okay, here we go. This is the one we need, because in this lake, the biggest fish that was pulled in for the tournament was only 2 pounds. So a 6-pounder, 5-6 pounder like I thought she would be huge. But look, I don't know if you can see that how well, but that's a 12-pound carp. I caught a carp on the tube jig, and it ate it. It was in its mouth. It was the weirdest thing that ever, probably, it's been a while since something that funny has happened to me on the water. So there, we only handed in 4 fish of our 5-fish limit for the tournament. We weighed 4 some odd pounds. The Tournament of Champions tournament, we got last place. We didn't come across, basically this lake was small enough that each spot that we fished, if you didn't get there first, it had already been fished 2 or 3 times, because there's just not enough water in that lake, so you had to work really slow. Hence the drop shot and popping a tube, helped a lot. The fish we weighed in, like I said, there are 4 fish at 4.25 pounds, something like that. We got dead last for the tournament, but it's all about what you take away from it. I could be mad, okay, we didn't do well, everything like that, but I was confident in the bites we got were not big, saying that on the human aspect side of it, we didn't lose any fish. We didn't miss any bites. The bites that we had, we caught and got in the boat. On the flip side of that, you got to figure out, for your pre-fish, you got to figure out where those fish are and what they're biting. And that's where I fell behind. I was so stuck on Saturday they were going to be on rock piles, which they weren't. Sunday, I thought they were going to be on brush piles. They might have been, but somebody else beat me to it. It was fishing for more individual fish than it was a pattern on Sunday. So that's my recap from this weekend. Like, again, I want to apologize for not getting the vlog out on Monday. I'm doing it today on Tuesday because I knew today would be a more interesting day. But I will try my best to get them out on Mondays. And also, I want to apologize for not getting 2 videos out a week. The last 2 weeks, all it's been is vlogs. I don't know what to say. I apologize, and I'm going to try my best to get it back for you guys so you'll be able to watch my videos. And I have fun doing them. It's just I got to remember to bring the camera along, kind of thing. So, what's going to happen now is I'm going to clean the boat, just vacuum it, stuff like that. It's been dirty. It's been used for 4 or 5 days straight in a row without being cleaned. So it needs a good vacuuming out and everything like that. So there was me, basically what it is today, working with Abbie, doing some duck hunting, cleaning out the boat. Like I said, I'll try and be better and get more of your videos out on Monday. But until next time, thanks for watching. Preston outdoors.